What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past few days, where we have an abundance amount of news to discuss. Firstly, Leo Messi's return to Barcelona at this current moment is closer to happening than ever before. Messi's family wants to leave, Messi wants to leave, and Barcelona want his return. Official negotiations have begun. Messi, of course, was booed last night in Lyon for PSG's match in Ligue 1, and Messi wants out as soon as possible, and Barcelona want him back as soon as possible. We have all the details covered about his reports and his transfer to Barcelona, alongside another priority in the attack for Barcelona, Vitor Roque. The club have big hopes and big aspirations for the player's future, and they want to sign him this summer at all costs. Multiple formulas are being studied, whether or not we sign him this summer, loan him, and then bring in Aubameyang for a year to cover that position for Lewandowski's backup. Again, so many things are being covered, but Barcelona want to sign Vitor Roque this summer. We also have an update on Barcelona's midfield options: Gundogan, Brozovic, and Zubimendi. How Xavi really wants Juan Foyth, and also how Barcelona are in the market for a top-class left winger, with Luis Diaz, Heung-min Son, and Mohamed Salah being options in that position. Apparently, Barcelona feel like they only need one left winger away from winning the Champions League, and they want to sign that this summer. We'll talk about those details. Also on player exits, we're going to talk about Dest's future, Ansu Fati, also the futures of Franck Kessié, Andreas Christensen, Pablo Torres. We have renewal updates on Xavi and a huge renewal update on Ousmane Dembele. Frenkie de Jong injury update for the Clasico, not looking too good. And finally, huge updates around the Espai Barca project. Before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already. And let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is one of the best jersey football replica websites on the market. They have a variety of items at fantastic prices. I have here some with me. Firstly is the home kit for this season. Excellent quality. The badge is nice and smooth. Spotify logo is printed on to perfection. And I also even have a jacket as well. This is one of the training jackets that the players wear. There's a logo there on the right hand side, zipper and everything. They have some badges here, the Nike logo as well. The quality is absolutely, feels real, and also the prices are unbeatable. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get an additional 15% off your orders. That's BOY. Use that checkout, you get 15% off your order, and all orders above $80 as well will get free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Top link down in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past few days. Now, first we're going to discuss Barcelona's search for a new midfielder this summer. Some players are dreams, some players are currently in advanced negotiations, and some players are also an option. Firstly, an option on the table this summer is Marcelo Brozovic. This is coming in from Mateu Alemany from Renewal. He's come out saying that Marcelo Brozovic, who was heavily linked with Barcelona in January, could in fact leave Inter Milan this summer. He is on the market, and if a good opportunity comes in, Inter are ready to part ways with him. Of course, Inter renewed his contract about a year ago, and now all of a sudden they want to get rid of him. They put him on the market. Again, this could be an option, possibly a swap deal, because of course Inter Milan loves swap deals. We could maybe offer Dest, Lenglet, anyone else who's coming back from loan if we desperately need a new pivot. So keep your eyes on Brozovic as a cheap option, but again, Inter want to get the best deal possible. So I think money wise, they'll probably look for around 30 million euros, something like that. So Marcelo Brozovic on the table, keep your eyes on it, but I think Barcelona approaching him is very unlikely. Now, the dream move in the pivot for Barcelona is, of course, Martin Zubimendi. This is coming in from Fernando Polo and Ferran Martinez from Mundo Deportivo. They've come out saying that Barcelona have asked Martin Zubimendi to wait until the club finds out their financial capabilities. Under normal conditions, he would be the main objective for the club, and the 60 million euro release clause would have been affordable. Zubimendi knows of Barcelona's interest, and Barcelona know that he would be delighted to join, but he only knows about the FFP situation. He is in no hurry to decide his future, despite having big offers from England, mainly from Arsenal. Mikel Arteta is a big fan of Zubimendi, and again, Barcelona have told him to wait because he is the main objective for Barcelona in the pivot position. I cannot see us signing Zubimendi this summer unless we get a huge cash injection, or FFP is no longer an issue whatsoever. Of course, you want to spend a lot of that money on another striker that we're going to talk about later on in the video, in Vitor Roque. Zubimendi, I think I would rather spend the money on him. I think there's going to be so many Vitor Roques who come in all the time, but a Zubimendi is always very, very rare. I think if the club do have money this summer, where they got to spend it on a striker, on a right back, maybe on a midfielder as well, we'll have to wait and see. But if there is an influx of money, so to speak, I think the club will go for Zubimendi. So keep your eyes on him, especially for this summer. If he is available and the club do have the funds for it, they might end up going for him. But the main target right now in the midfield position is, of course, İlkay Gundogan. As we all know, there is a full agreement reached with Gundogan on a contract for the next 2 or 3 seasons. But the situation, in case FFP becomes a problem, has not been agreed upon with Gundogan. Of course, Inigo Martinez has agreed to go out on loan, where Gundogan has not agreed to that. Now, his agent has been speaking to Fabrizio Romano via The Guardian, and he's come out saying there's definitely no agreement yet with any club. The focus of İlkay Gundogan in recent weeks was only on City at the end of the season and on the birth of his child as well. Where İlkay plays next season is still open. So his agent saying, look, right now he's not focused on that, but we still have no agreement with any other club at the moment, including Man City as well. But of course, we know this is not true. Jorge has already confirmed there is an agreement with him over a contract at Barcelona. The situation of FFP, in case we cannot register him, is still not agreed upon between the player and the club. So keep your eyes on Gundogan. Of course, over past weekend against Liverpool, he had a great game, scored a goal as well. So a lot of Barcelona fans hyped about him on social media. So keep your eyes on Gundogan. I think right now he's the main target. I think if Barcelona can sign anyone in the parameters, of course, it would be him. I think right now the dream is Zubimendi, but right now the funds are not quite there for him. Free agent, experience, can play across all in the entire midfield, and of course will utilize the squad, make the squad stronger, improve our 4-man midfield, the formation, if Xavi tends to use it a lot. So keep your eyes on Gundogan. I think he's going to definitely be one of Barcelona's main targets in the next few weeks, as he is a free agent. We can tie down that deal very, very soon. But again, know that the club are in the market for a midfielder this summer, with Gundogan and Zubimendi being the main targets. Now, a position that Barcelona really want to strengthen this summer is, of course, the right back position, and without a doubt, the main target is, of course, Juan Foyth. This is coming in from Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo. He's come out saying that Juan Foyth is becoming one of the main objectives for Xavi this summer. The club has not made any contact with Villarreal, nor with the player for now. They know they don't have a budget today to face the signing of the player. So what Gabriel Sanz is saying here is that without a doubt, Foyth is the main target, main objective, first priority in the right back position, but Barcelona don't have the money for him. They haven't talked to Foyth or Villarreal as well. Again, this is kind of like Martin Zubimendi 2.0, the club dream of some players, but in the end, cannot afford them, and Juan Foyth being one for now. But of course, a formula can be met. We can maybe we sign him on loan with a buy obligation, make Villarreal happy. But again, Villarreal are going to be asking for that 60 million euro release clause, and then the question comes in: if we do have 60 million euros, who do we use it on, Zubimendi or Foyth? Personally, I'd go for Zubimendi. I don't think Foyth is not a generational talent, because Zubimendi is a great player, a very talented player who can grow a lot in that pivot. There's not much of him. Juan Foyth, there's a lot of profiles like him, Benjamin Pavard and others, scenarios as well, whether it's João Cancelo, anything else like that. There are other options in right back, but for the pivot, it's just really right now Zubimendi or no one. Of course, you could say Kimmich, wherever the case may be, but that's very, very unlikely in terms of the realistic option. So we'll see on Juan Foyth, but no doubt Xavi can pick any right back in the world right now outside of Barcelona. That's of course reasonable and feasible. It is Juan Foyth. Now, position for Barcelona that they want to strengthen this summer is going to be, of course, the forward line, and apparently, according to Cat Radio, the club are in the market to sign a world-class left winger. Barcelona are looking for a top left winger. The coaches believe that it is necessary to strengthen this position with a stellar signing in the summer. Some names like Heung-min Son, Luis Diaz, and Mohamed Salah are on the table, but they seem impossible at the moment. Now, when I saw this, my brain just started hurting so much. Firstly, there's no way on God's green earth we can afford any of these 3 players. No chance. Second of all, you're already stocked with forwards. Yes, they're not world-class, top-level forward, left wingers, so to speak, but they're still on the books. So getting rid of them is going to be a problem. Then signing them as well is going to be another different problem. Do I think the club do I think Barcelona is, a left winger away from being a world-class team? No. I think we need a right back. I think we need a pivot for Busquets for the future. Maybe get a box-to-box. Then you can look a top class winger. I do think we need to strengthen in that left wing position. I think right now Ferran, Torres, and Ansu Fati are not reliable. Of course, I think one of them will have to stay, one of them will have to leave for this top class left winger to come in. But then you have other reports about Vitor Roque and Messi, which we'll talk about later on, so that leaves no room for Barcelona to get a left winger anyways. And Mohamed Salah is a right winger. So this this report makes no sense to me whatsoever. I think Luis Diaz is a player that the club have followed for a very, very long time, since his time in Colombia. And then when he went to Porto as well, apparently the club were going to bid 40 million for him, but they didn't have the money. That's why Liverpool got him. So keep your eyes on Luis Diaz for the future. I think Heung-min Son is a great talent, but he's coming to the end of his prime. And Mo Salah is just looking for a payday. At the end of the day, he wants to leave Liverpool for a new challenge. He can bid off to Madrid for all I care. So this report is just the media trying to make some rumors, I think, in the international break, because this just makes no sense on every single level. But let's now discuss some actual targets that are feasible for Barcelona this summer in the forward position. Firstly being Vitor Roque, who the club are planning to spend a lot of money on, but he does have a backup option, and that is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Barcelona's priority target for a new backup striker remains Vitor Roque, but Aubameyang is appreciated and he is on the list since January. The option could be activated if the Vitor Roque deal collapses for Barcelona. He would love to join the club again. So Aubameyang is the backup option for Vitor Roque, but again, Vitor Roque is the main priority. Again, I'll be happy if we sign either of these two this summer. Of course, I'd rather pick Vitor Roque, very young striker, doing great in the Brazilian league, has a great future ahead of him. I think Aubameyang is a great option for a worst case scenario. If we don't sign him, maybe we'll go for Carrasco after that, and then we don't get either of them, then you're bringing Aubameyang, free deal, 1-year contract on dirt cheap salary. I have no problem with that as well. I have a very passionate connection with Aubameyang. I love the player. He did very well for Barcelona. He's always done well for Arsenal and Dortmund and wherever the case may be. He's a great player, great striker, so he is an option for Barcelona, but of course the main one is Vitor Roque. Now, Joaquin Pereira from Sport, who of course the number one source around Brazilian news to Barcelona, has come out saying the father and agent of Vitor Roque was in London to negotiate transfer with Arsenal and Chelsea. Knowing about the club's financial restriction, they then traveled to Barcelona to speak with the executives there. So Vitor Roque's executives and his agents are also speaking with Arsenal and Chelsea as well. So that provides competition for the signing, because they want to have another avenue just in case Barcelona cannot afford him. But again, Barcelona is his main objective. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that although Vitor Roque is determined to play for Barcelona, his father and agents are more focused on the future in England. They are currently, of course, where they were currently in London to negotiate with Arsenal, who are currently leading the race alongside Barcelona. They are expected to be into Barcelona soon, but one of his agents, Andre Curry, knows Barcelona very well and have been cooling their interest due to the FFP problems. But then Joaquin Pereira from Sport came out saying that Barcelona will do everything possible to sign Vitor Roque. They want to sign him this summer, even if it means they'll have to postpone his arrival for 1 more year. So again, paying that loan and then loading him back to his current club. As the club has registration difficulties, the club may close the deal, and then they could postpone his incorporation for a year and then go for a 9 who will come for free, and all roads lead to Aubameyang. So Joaquin Pereira with a great report here saying that Barcelona could end up signing Vitor Roque and Aubameyang. Sign Vitor Roque now, maybe buy 50% of his rights, whatever the case may be, or buy him permanently, then loan him back. Maybe, cut the deal, cut the price of that loan deal as well for his current club, and then you're bringing Aubameyang for that 1-year period to cover for Vitor Roque's loan, which I think is a great option. Now, Juan Martí from Relevo came out saying that it is Vitor Roque's priority to join Barcelona, and he's ready to do so, even if it means that he has a lower salary than the ones offered from the Premier League clubs, i.e. Arsenal and Chelsea, while both clubs remain optimistic over striking a deal. So his current club and Barcelona are still very optimistic about striking the deal, but it will be very difficult. Roger Tolor from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are very clear that they want to sign Vitor Roque. If they're unable to pay him now due to the FFP, a possible formula to sign him on loan with the mandatory buy option in 2024 is on the table. However, with this formula, the price would increase. Currently, his club is asking for around 40 million, but it would rise to 50 with the buy obligation in 2024. Roque's will is none other but to play for Barcelona. So again, Barcelona are still trying to find a formula to sign Vitor Roque, who was the absolute priority in the forward line for Barcelona this summer. And finally, Mateo Morito from Relevo came out saying that Vitor Roque wants to play for Barcelona and will wait and will do whatever it takes, a bit like what happened with the Rafinha situation last summer. Only Barcelona can decide not to sign him and withdraw from the race, but as of today, there is great optimism between the parties. So again, a lot of if, buts, and maybes for Vitor Roque, but what's clear as day is that Barcelona want him and want him badly. They see him as an excellent player for the future. I think for me, I think that first option that Joaquin Pereira talked about is a great option. Again, you can't really register Vitor Roque right now with his salary with FFP, spending a lot of money on that as well. So what you can do is buy him for 40 or 30 million euros, loan him back to his current club. That will reduce the price a bit. That way they can keep him for a year, and also they get the value that they want. And then you bring in Aubameyang for a year to cover for that loan move that Vitor Roque will go back to his current club, or maybe loan him to a La Liga club as well. You never know, that could be an option as well. And again, bring in Aubameyang to cover him for a year, and then he comes back for a year. And then Lewandowski's last 2 years at Barcelona, Vitor Roque will cover for him, learn from him, understand from him, provide cover for him, and also hopefully some healthy competition. So wait and see with Vitor Roque. Again, he's a huge target for the club this summer. While Xavi's asking for him, Mateu Alemany is doing his best to negotiate this transfer. It's going to take a lot, but again, both clubs are very optimistic over a transfer being sealed very soon. But the player who is Barcelona's #1 priority this summer in every regard, whether it's the forward department, free agent department, literally anything, is of course the greatest human being to ever touch a football, Lionel Andres Messi. There's been a lot of reports about him over the past few days. I'm going to run through everything, give you guys my opinion and my reaction as well. Again, his return is just edging closer and closer. Firstly, L'Equipe, very close in France, have come out saying that pessimism regarding Lionel Messi's continuation is growing stronger at PSG. They don't think Messi's going to renew his contract. And then we got the report from Gaston Adul, who is one of the #1 sources around Argentina. He followed Argentina during the World Cup. He's done interviews with Messi multiple times. He's come out saying that Leo Messi is waiting for Barcelona. If he was convinced by PSG, he would have already signed the contract extension, which has been on the table for a very long time. Sport came out saying that Leo Messi talks regularly with Xavi and knows that the doors are always open for him, and he would fit perfectly into the coach's plan. Messi's wife and children are also looking forward to living in Barcelona again, but obviously the player himself will have the final word. Apparently Messi's wife Antonella does not even want to register the kids, Thiago, Mateo, and Chiro, for next year's school in Paris as well. So that's a big update. A face-to-face meeting with Jean Laporta and Messi is still necessary. Xavi loves Messi. Messi contemplates returning to Barcelona as an attraction option, and recovering a cordial relationship with Laporta would be a matter of time. But again, everything will depend on the FFP margin Barcelona would have. Now, RAC1 came out saying that Barcelona is trying to convince Messi to return to the Spotify Camp Nou. The club has not presented him with any specific proposal, but Messi keeps Barcelona's door open, but expects the club to make him an offer to be able to evaluate it. Messi also has PSG's proposal on the table and will not respond until they give him details on the project for next year. Fernando Porto from Deportivo came out saying that within Barcelona, Leo Messi is considered as a real transfer option. The club has begun to pull strings and press Leo and his father to say they return to Barcelona. Laporta's brother, his in-law Alejandro, is doing his bit to establish a good relationship again, and Xavi and Messi maintain contacts and had a good relationship for a very long time. Also, the dressing room considers his return as a real option. That's why they've been vocal about Messi's continuation recently over the past few days. Of course, I think Roberto's talked about it. I think Eric Garcia's talked about it. PK has talked about it as well. I think there's been another player as well. Basically everyone. So I think Frenkie de Jong also mentioned it as well. In any case, Messi would have to accept a lower salary, which Barcelona would compensate by paying him part of the revenue he would generate. Now, usually Barcelona keep all the rights of the players when they make a transfer. I think Ronaldo got like 50% of his rights at Real Madrid. I think Messi also got a percentage, like 200% under Bartomeu, something like that. So in order to compensate for his lower salary, the club will give him more, let him pocket more of his TV rights and his image rights, whether it's going to be for sponsorships, advertisements, whatever the case may be. They let him pocket more of that since he's going to be on a lower salary. Fernando Polo also came out saying that Xavi is convinced by Leo Messi that can play as a fourth midfielder, considering his incredible playmaking abilities. In fact, in the meeting between the coaches and the sporting area, they're playing next season with Messi in the squad. Madness. PSG's Qatar owners want to renew Messi's contract at all costs, and they informed Jorge Mendes that they're willing to offer more money and more years if they want, but Leo wants sporting guarantees. So PSG, the Qatar owners, want to keep Messi at all costs, but the board, Luis Campos and Nasser Al-Khalifi, are unsure about keeping Messi or not. The fans have been booing him a lot over the past few games. The Qatar owners want to offer him more money, more years, whatever he wants, but Messi, of course, wants more than money. He wants sporting project guarantees. Now, Juan Martin from Relevo came out saying that Jorge Messi and Joan Laporta have resumed contacts, and now they will talk about numbers, among them financial fair play, of course. So Messi's father and his agent, of course, and Laporta are speaking. Sport also came out saying that Messi has told Xavi he wants to return to Barcelona this summer. Laporta tells his close circle, I'm going to work my arse off for Messi to come back. I have to get it done in anyhow I can. Yesterday there was a board meeting and Sarah members left with feeling that Messi's return is possible. The rumor is that Laporta will do everything he can with a certain extent to bring Messi back. So of course he let Messi go 2021. Worst case scenario, he had to leave. He left him. So Laporta has like a line where he cannot cross. He'll do everything he can to not get to that line and to bring Messi back. Now, there has been some positive reports about Javier Tebas, helping us out here. Manu Sanchez has come out saying that La Liga plans to ease down financial fair play for next season. Tebas is also crazy about Messi's possible return because, of course, bring more eyes and more revenue to La Liga. I don't think that will happen. We'll wait for more confirmation on that, but hopefully Manu Sanchez is correct. Now, ESPN Argentina have come out saying that Leo Messi is going to leave PSG. That is now confirmed. They never understood that they had the best in the world. Leo's happiness is at Barcelona, and he will return even if he has to play for free. Look at this, lads. I am getting goosebumps reading this. Veronica Bonetti came out saying that Barcelona have accelerated talks to sign Leo Messi this summer. Mateu Alemany is in direct contact with Javier Tebas to register him, and Xavi is constantly talking with Messi. Now, Veronica, keep in mind, back in November was one of the first people to say that Messi returned to Barcelona in 2023 was possible. Then, of course, John de Miro picked it up in January. More reports coming from Argentina that if Barcelona make any offer to Messi that's actually standable and sustainable and feasible, he will end up returning. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Xavi is obsessed with the return of Messi and is really pushing hard for him to come back to Barcelona. Hanina Codés from Kobe came out saying that at Barcelona, the campaign to bring back Leo Messi has begun. From the club, the second authorization voice of the Laporta, Rafael Uste, publicly spoke about it. The dressing room spokesperson Xavi stated that hopefully he can return as well. Of course, Xavi talked about this in the press conference prior to the Elche match, and also Rafael Uste came out in a press conference as well. So that Messi return, we're talking about it. We're having negotiations, but again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I think Mateu Alemany even mentioned about it as well. The wheels, lads, are in full motion. And lastly, Ben Aid came out saying that before making any offer to Leo Messi, Barcelona is internally studying all ways that might make his return possible. Laporta will not give out statements without a clear plan. Barcelona's plan on Leo Messi's topic is to work silently, internally, and restore the relationship and make an offer according to the club's capabilities, only according to the club's capabilities, to avoid any last-minute shock like last time. In the event of the Messi return, he will wear the number 10. It will be taken off Ansu Fati. Ansu can get another number, 17, 22, 14, whatever the case may be. Messi will wear 10. If Messi returns, it would benefit Barcelona economically. Huge demand for his shirt and other merchandises, increase in sponsors from different continents, more money for all the matches and friendlies and tours that will play due to Messi's participation, full demand for the match day tickets despite moving to the Montjuic Stadium as well. Okay, overall, Messi's return is getting closer. The player wants to come back. His family wants to come back. Barcelona is talking with Messi's father. That is confirmed as well. And there's so many economic pros for Messi coming back. Of course, we're going to be in the Montjuic Stadium next year. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. We got to bring in revenue for that. Shirts, sleeve sponsors, merchandises, tours. Messi just brings in so much. And that's what the club, when I give him a low salary, that way he can be registered, and also from all that money he earns, some shirt sales, merchandising, participation in friendlies, tickets, all that stuff, some of that will go to Messi to compensate for his lower salary. Lads, this is possible. Messi just played against Lyon yesterday and they whistled him. He walked off, they didn't shake the fans or nothing. This return is getting closer and closer, and I'm gassed. I cannot believe that Messi's actually coming back. I'm gonna lose my mind. Imagine a front three of Messi, Lewandowski, Dembele. Mio, screw a top class left winger. We're gonna bring the best player in the world, the greatest human being to touch a football, back in our squad. You absolutely love to see it. So wait and see on this one. Again, it's in full motion. I think Messi's return, we will know the full story of it within the next month. I think before June, we're gonna have an answer on Messi, whether he's gonna come back or he's not gonna come back. Because by then, we gotta make those transfers that actually cost money. Vitor Roque, Juan Foyth, Zubimendi. I think right now the club want to tie down Ilkay Gundogan and also Messi's return. So wait and see on this one. But Messi's return has never been closer than this very moment since he left in 2021. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past few days. First one being, of course, Ansu Fati, whose father went mad at an interview he did with Cope a few days ago. I'm going to read his father's quotes because, to be honest, they're crazy. So his father came and called the Cope late night. He just went on a whole rant. He said that if it were up to me, I'd take him from Barcelona, but he wants to continue at Barcelona. Again, this is Ansu Fati's father and his agent essentially as well, alongside Jorge Mendes speaking. I'm angry as a father, and what bothers me is that Ansu plays so few minutes. We are talking about Barcelona's number 10, an international from Spanish national team, and a boy from La Masia. Ansu does not want to sign for any other club, but I want to see him succeed. I spoke with Mateu Alemany and Bori Fati, and they told me that he's in the club's heritage and that they love Ansu. It's a good question. How will he have this reason? 2 years ago, they were all killed by Vinicius, and now what? I asked Ansu for the same support and continuation. Before the injury, Ansu was starting matches in the squad with Antoine Griezmann, Dembele, and Suarez. He was starting ahead of them. How come he doesn't play now? Physically, he's in top shape. Ansu is currently asleep, and you can't hear me at the moment because our house is very big. I don't know if that's like a flex. I don't know what that is. We have a meeting with Jorge Mendes in about a month. I want my son to succeed. If it were up to me, tomorrow, I would leave Barcelona. I told Ansu that his situation does not change. He would have to leave, but he keeps on telling me that I'm wrong, and he does not want to leave. First of all, shout out to Ansu Fati. This, of course, took place before the game against Elche on Saturday night. His father basically wants him to leave because he's not playing, which, you know what, he wants the best for his son. That's understandable. But doing this interview just absolutely kills any, negotiation tactics, any momentum you have, any leverage you have in any way, shape, or form. You've come out publicly bashing Barcelona, whether it's Joan Laporta, Xavi, Mateu Alemany, Bori Fati, saying that you want to leave right now and that you're going to have a meeting with Jorge Mendes in about a month to discuss his future and options. And again, this also tells me that Ansu Fati has offers on the table. Whether they're going to be accepted by Barcelona, I don't know, but I think there's clubs talking to Jorge Mendes. They're interested in Ansu Fati and they would want to take him. But again, the main part of this interview is that his father wants to leave, but Ansu Fati himself wants to stay. Relevo came out saying that Ansu Fati is upset with his father's public statements and is studying whether to make an official statement to make it clear that his father's statements are not his. Ansu does not want any controversy and to lose focus. Sport came out saying that Bori Fati's statements have not gone down well at the club and from the dressing room either. They assured that this does not have any good to do with Ansu Fati. In fact, they are convinced that this has nothing to do with his son or his agent Jorge Mendes, whose way of acting is more such discreet and always trying to avoid scandals. Xavi continues to maintain trust in Ansu Fati but believes that there are other players who deserve to play ahead of him. Fati started 6 of the last 11 games in La Liga. He was a Vivo for but had 0 goal contributions. Of course, he scored a goal last weekend against Elche. Ansu Fati also asked Xavi for more minutes in the frequent private talks they had, but in a respectful way. So of course, Xavi has spoken since then. He said basically, I trust Ansu Fati. He's a player for the future. I absolutely love him, but again, right now, lacking a bit of confidence and momentum and continuation as well. Look, for Ansu, his future's in his hands. He has to go out there and perform. Of course, I think Elche, in my opinion, he did not perform very well, but still scored a goal, so hopefully he'll get that momentum and confidence back. But again, it's down to him. It's down to him to play and take advantage of those minutes that he gets from Xavi. And again, it's very, very clear that his entourage wants him to leave, whether it's his father, Jorge Mendes, whatever the case may be. If they had a choice tomorrow, they would leave Barcelona. Also, his father unfollowed Barcelona from Instagram as well, or Twitter, or whatever the case may be. So his father is pretty pissed off at the club. Fair enough to him. I understand his point of view, but doing it the way you did it is absolutely incorrect. So we'll wait and see with Ansu. This one you have to keep your eyes on this summer. I think from now to the end of the season, he does not perform very well. His exit is very, very much a reality, a possibility, and definitely on the table. Now, a player who will 100% leave Barcelona this summer is, of course, Sergino Dest, who is returning from loan from AC Milan. Mateo Marito from Relevo came out saying that Sergino Dest will not be joining Union Berlin. There were some reports from Germany saying that apparently Union Berlin are in advanced talks to sign Dest. That's not the case. He's not convinced by the German club. Other offers which will he receive will be valued. So again, Dest 100% will leave the club this summer in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully it will be a permanent transfer, but again, the club, if they're desperate like they were last summer, will analyze a loan. But we are expecting a permanent sale for Dest this summer, and hopefully we can recuperate a transfer fee in the region of 10 to 15 million euros for him. Now, with Barcelona needing to sell players for FFP and how offers may come in and be studied, a lot of the squad, medium players who are, squad players, maybe just on the verge of starting players, their futures are very much in doubt depending on what offers come in and what the club do. But there are 2 players who Xavi wants to stay no matter what, and this is coming in from having Miguel from AES, who of course is very, very close to Xavi. He's come out saying that Xavi firmly has Andreas Christensen and Franck Kessié in his plans for next season. They are considered important players, and there are other players who will leave ahead of them as Xavi wants them to stay. So Christensen, I think no doubt will stay. We're hearing reports about Newcastle going in for him and how Barcelona have to sell players, and he could be a one because his value has gone up. He will not leave. But Kessié, I wouldn't rule out fully. I know that Xavi wants to keep him, but if the club gets an offer, they have to get rid of someone, and something comes in with the offer for Kessié. I think his future is still in the air. I think Christensen will stay, no doubt about that in my mind, but Kessié, you just never know. But Xavi does want to keep both players. He is playing next season with both players in his plans. But of course, in the Mercado, you just never know. Another player who Xavi is very happy with is, of course, Pablo Torre. Alfredo Martinez from Sport came out saying that Pablo Torre is very happy with how he has progressed training with the Barcelona first team. He's in daily learning and has matured footballing knowledge as well. He believes he'll grow more at Barcelona rather than leaving for some other club on loan. But of course, next season, he needs minutes, so most likely he will leave on loan. But Pablo Torre is very happy at Barcelona at the moment with his development, of course, playing for Barcelona B and training and being integrated a lot in the first team as well. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, a big update on the contract renewal of Ousmane Dembele, which will be one of the priorities for the club over the next few months. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Ousmane Dembele has said yes to his renewal with Barcelona. As soon as the club's economic tension eases a little bit, negotiations will start. Dembele is aware of the club's circumstances, and he is aware that his current deal will not be significantly increased. Oh, them boosters grow some bullocks, eh? Is it an overturn? Is the agent Moussa Sissoko? We'll have to wait and see on this. Again, once the negotiations actually start, we'll get more details. But according to Gabriel Sanz, Ousmane Dembele has said yes to Barcelona to renew his contract and to stay at Barcelona for many more years. And he knows for a fact that his current deal will not be increased significantly. He will not be given a huge pay rise, whatever the case may be. He will earn around the same amount. Maybe he'll get a little bit more extra money after his great performances this season. But keep your eyes on the Busa situation over the next few weeks. But he has given a yes to Barcelona over his renewal. The next contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of the Barcelona first team manager, Xavi Hernandez. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Xavi Hernandez will extend his contract with Barcelona. It is just a matter of time. Barcelona's offer is ready, but Xavi wants to focus on the field and winning La Liga before signing his new deal. He's actively working on the future plans with the board as well. So Xavi 100% will renew his contract, pending, of course, lifting the La Liga title. He wants to win some trophies first before, of course, he puts pen and paper on a brand new deal. Again, it will be a 2 or 3 year extension, a little bit of a pay rise as well for his great work. But again, Xavi will hold off on signing those renewal papers until he lifts some trophies. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past few days. First, we have to talk about Eric Garcia's new position at Barcelona, which of course we saw last weekend against Elche in the pivot position. Now, this broke a few days before the Elche game, which we never knew that Garcia would actually start in the pivot. It came from Alberto Roque and Juan Martin from Olivo. They came out saying the option of changing Eric Garcia's position and trying him as a pivot is gaining integers. Xavi is seriously thinking about it. Eric's president in the midfield has increased in recent training sessions, and his performances is convincing the coaching staff as well. Eric Garcia wants to stay at Barcelona for the next few years despite not having minutes he experienced. He continues to be exemplary in training and is waiting for an opportunity to show that he can help the team for his life to win trophies. So Garcia, not too happy with his minutes, but he's happy with his role in the team. He's doing very well in training. He's clearly right now a squad player, but with his new position as a pivot, he could end up getting more minutes. Little did we know, a few days after this report, he started right in the pivot against Elche and actually put in a decent performance. But of course, with the club situation, offers will be studied for Garcia. And Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Arsenal are interested in insisting on signing Eric Garcia. They were interested in January, but he refused to leave. But things now could have changed with the arrival of Inigo Martinez. Eric does not want another season like he currently had at Barcelona. So he wants more minutes in this season, which of course is respectable and it's fair. But again, this new position for Eric Garcia has given him a new life and a new opportunity at Barcelona. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that despite rumors about Arsenal, he is not aware of any negotiations for Eric Garcia. And at the moment, Barcelona are counting on him, and he also had an excellent game against in the defensive midfield the other day. No time right now for negotiation. We'll see how the FFP changes everything for Barcelona in the summer. So currently no ongoing negotiations between Barcelona and Arsenal for Eric Garcia. But again, I think in this pivot position, he does have a future at the club. Let's say, for example, hypothetically, Busquets leaves. You bring in Gundogan, have Eric Garcia as a backup. Maybe you try to integrate Eric Garcia more. Also, on Eric Garcia's pivot transition, Xavi did confirm that it was Jordi Cruyff's idea. So shout out Jordi Cruyff. He was the one, the mastermind behind this. He kept recommending and kept insisting on Xavi to try Eric Garcia in the pivot. Over the last few months, Eric Garcia has been training as a pivot, and over recent weeks during the international break, when Barcelona's first team played a friendly game against Barcelona B behind closed door, again, given match fitness, match rhythm, Eric Garcia was always playing in the pivot. So he has a big opportunity here at Barcelona. We'll see how he does over the next few weeks in the pivot, but again, his future is still in doubt with interest from other teams and also his current position in the squad as well, being 5th choice center back and 2nd choice pivot as well. But this new position can give him new life at Barcelona. Now, a player's future at Barcelona that is pretty much guaranteed for the next 10 years is, of course, Pablo Gavi. After he renewed his contract a few months ago, but of course, his contract for the first team was officially unregistered as he played with the number 30 against Elche. But at Barcelona, there's no doubt about his registration. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Barcelona are very relaxed with the situation of Gavi, despite rumors. The club feels like Gavi wants to stay and think that he'll be able to register his new contract in the summer. He's already received his new wages as well. This has been confirmed as well from the Spanish media. Look, all this athletic report, Gavi can leave for free in the summer. That's not going to happen. That the option might be there, but again, Gavi will wait for his contract to be registered. Again, worst case scenario, maybe by August 31st, he has not been registered. Maybe he could think about leaving as a free agent, but again, there's no doubt about that. He's one of the main priorities for Barcelona, him and Araujo as well, to register their contracts, and there's no doubt that will be completed soon. Let's now discuss some injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. Of course, Pedri, Dembele, and Christensen will 100% miss out on El Clasico, and so will, unfortunately, Frenkie de Jong as well. Having been given from AES came out saying that Frenkie de Jong finished Saturday's training sessions with bad feelings and is now, it seems, practically impossible for him to play against Real Madrid. The midfield three will be Kessie, Busquets, and Roberto, and then Gavi will play as a false left winger. Then we'll play with two up front and Ansu Fati or Ferran, and of course Robert Lewandowski. Missing out on Frenkie de Jong is a big blow. Apparently he will be out for another 15 days, which pretty much puts him out for the Clásico and also Girona on Monday. He could be back for the next weekend game, which I believe is Atletico Madrid. Big blow for Barcelona. Again, we have to adapt the system, adapt the style of play with no Frenkie de Jong. There are reports saying that Barcelona could force him, which, to be honest, I wouldn't mind. This is a decision where you want to force. You're in a position right now, the season where you want to force players, and you can get away with it. So the club could force him, but they don't want him to suffer a bigger injury and more precautions in the future. So it looks like Frenkie de Jong will be out for this weekend's match in the Clásico. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is give you guys some updates surrounding Espai Barca. We have had some big progression over the past few days. Firstly, that Barcelona is starting a new financial proposal to obtain the 1.5 billion euros to carry out the works for Espai Barca. 500 million will be used for the short-term bank from the loan from Goldman Sachs. Another 500 million for the medium-term investors. Then 500 million for the long-term investors for the next 25 years. How the loan of Espai Barca will be repaid. Barcelona will calculate the first 100 million euros. That will be for the club, and the new Espai Barca project will generate around 347 million euros per year, 176 of that more for the current turnovers. So Barcelona have good plans in place to utilize the loan money they will get for Espai Barca and also how to repay it back. Now, it has been officially confirmed and leaked in the news according to Mundo Deportivo that Barcelona has already communicated to the Spanish Federation, RFEF, that they will play their home games at the Luis Campos Olympic Stadium in Montjuic next season. So we heard some reports that Barcelona may save the Camp Nou for one more year because Messi's coming back, all that sort of stuff. Not the case whatsoever. We will be playing at the Montjuic Stadium next season for the whole entire season. And according to Sport, the board has given the green light to financials of the Camp Nou renovation. The loan is secured by the stadium's revenues. Expected revenue increase around 100%. The forecast generated again 346 million euros. The first 100 million euros for the club, 246 for the debt, and some were covered over credit and other for the club as well. So again, the financial situation is in place for Espai Barca. The Montjuic playing there next season is also confirmed, and it's also confirmed that Barcelona have requested to play the first 3 games of La Liga next season away from home to have more time to move to Montjuic Stadium. Of course, remember they did this when they were intervening the Santiago Bernabeu. So subsequently, after La Liga, UEFA ultimately informed about the stadium change as well. So UEFA has been informed, La Liga has been informed, so everyone that's needed to be informed about the stadium change has been informed. So again, the club 100% will be moving to the Olympic Stadium in Montjuic next season, and we will be leaving the Camp Nou for 1 year. Again, the first 3 games of La Liga next season will be played away from home. That way we can move all the season tickets, move all the stadium stuff, you know, the goalposts, have a merchandise store there as well to capitalize on revenue. Again, the issue will be the pitch is very far away from the stands, and also the stands will be, you know, the capacity will be decreased as well. We're going to go from 100,000 to around 55,000, 60,000 capacity, which is going to be a big change next season. But again, the plans are in place for Espai Barca project to give Barcelona the best stadium in the world. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few days. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing first, of course, is your thoughts on the return of Lionel Messi. Think it'll happen or not? Secondly, your thoughts on Vitor Roque coming in. Would you pay the money for him? Would you go for other options? Thirdly, on Ansu Fati situation, what would you do? Let him go, give him one more season? Your thoughts on those, you know, Barcelona looking for a top class winger. Would you go for it now? Would you, you know, prioritize other positions like the DM or maybe right back? Thoughts on the renewal of Ousmane, Dembele, and Xavi moving to the Montjuic Stadium as well. Dest's future, other players' futures as well that we discussed. And of course, make sure to subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.
Yeah.